go ahead and get the Instagram live started as well. So we got that. Okay. Get that. All right, so let me go ahead and actually start the presentation as well. And then also, just as a heads up, this is a recorded webinar, just so we can allow people to be able to watch it and get some information. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in into this webinar tonight. So tonight we're basically talking about PPP loans, right? The government has essentially released higher PPP loans for small businesses. And with that, we won't be talking too much about the other programs. We want to keep today very, very concentrated and very focused on PPP. The stimulus package has different programs, different stipulations and everything like that. But ultimately, PPP has gone through a major change, especially for those that are small businesses that may have a Schedule C or they're a sole proprietor, for example. So that's what we'll be talking about today. The title is called How to Financially Survive COVID-19 with Relief Loans, and take advantage of new legislation. But at the same time, we're really today going to be focused on the PPP. So I'll basically be touching up on the stimulus package and then talk through the update. So who am I? My name is Jeff Badu. I'm a licensed certified public accountant. I graduated from the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in accounting. I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier, and the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. So what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including our marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services, and that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. And we also have clients in over 20 countries now at the moment. On top of that, I run my real estate investment company, which is Badu Investments LLC. And that's the firm that invests in multifamily rentals and apartment buildings. Right now, we control 57 units on the south side of Chicago. And we also provide financial literacy education to those communities through our Badu Foundation. And that's for the youth ages 6 to 18, and also anyone who's experiencing homelessness. So last point is that my purpose in life, which is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. So just as a recap, right? COVID-19 is the pandemic that we're in right now that happened last year around March, which led to the CARES Act. That was the $2 trillion package, first stimulus package that was passed. And then in December of last year, the Coronavirus Relief and Omnibus Agreement was passed, right? And that led to about $900 billion into the economy, which led to stimulus checks, unemployment compensation, PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, EIDL, right? All those different things, all those different programs were released because of that. And now we have a stimulus package 3 that's coming soon. By the way, we're doing a webinar on that next week. We'll be sending out details on that. But we have a webinar. Basically, there's a third stimulus package, $1.9 trillion, coming out pretty soon, which will include the $1,400 stimulus checks, more PPP money, and also more EIDL money. As a reminder, we do have a new president, and the tax deadline is still April 15th for individuals and C corporations. And then if you're an S corporation or partnership, it's actually March 15th. So you don't have too much time to get it in our firm. Whatever we have in is basically what's going in. But if you do need an extension or anything like that, we'd be more than happy to file one on your behalf and just get the process started. Sometimes you file a return like 3 days after the extension. You know, so an extension just allows you more time to file. It doesn't allow you more time to pay, but it does allow you more time to file. So there's an extension for individuals and C corporations through October 15th. And then for partnerships and S corporations, it's September 15th. Throughout this time of the year, you should be planning out your taxes because there's a big tax reform coming at the end of this year. It will hit a lot of people by surprise. And I'm telling you right now that we will have a tax reform, a big one, not the small COVID package, stimulus package 3 one. I'm talking about a massive, massive tax reform like we had in 2017 with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So there is a tax reform coming under our President, Joe Biden. He's talked about it so much, but it will hit a lot of people by surprise. So what we're going to discuss today is mainly the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. Right? That's a 7A forgivable loan for first-time borrowers, and you can get it the second time for second-time borrowers as well. We won't be talking about EIDL, but we will take questions on it. If you have any questions on EIDL, which, by the way, just got increased to $15,000 grant in the Stimulus Package 3. Right? We'll talk about that next week. But we also have there's also the Employee Retention Tax Credit and the Employer Payroll Tax Deferment. We will not talk about that today. Today, there's something so important that I want you guys to really, really not sleep on it. And that the PPP loan has changed to allow more small businesses to be eligible and to qualify for the loan. What is PPP? PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program, right? And that basically you can get a fully forgivable loan up to $2 million. $2 million is the limit. A fully forgivable loan based on 2.5 times your average total monthly payroll. Now, I hate the fact that they put the word payroll in here because it can dissuade people into thinking they don't qualify. Yes, if you're a sole proprietor, if you're an independent contractor, Schedule C, self-employed, Uber driver, Lyft, right, hair braider, knitter, dog walker, stand in the line for somebody, right, whatever it is, you can qualify as long as you got a Schedule C on your 2019 income tax return. And if you haven't filed one, you might want to see me because we do assist you with tax returns. And I'll leave my contact information at the end here. But essentially, you do want to make sure that you are taking advantage of these programs. They actually created it for small businesses. There's still over $140 billion in PPP money still left. That's been untouched. There's no reason why that is. And the SBA said, you know what, let's rip the rules. Let's change the calculation. Let's see if small businesses will really act to this stuff. Where they change the rules to allow gross income instead of net income to be used for Schedule C's. Gross income to be used in the calculation. I'll show you guys an example through a demonstration. But it's a fully forgivable loan. No gimmicks, no schemes, none of that. And Waddell asked the question, shout out to Waddell, who's one of the team members in the Badu Tax Services firm. He says, what if they don't already have a Schedule C for 2019, but have it for 2020? No, you don't qualify. You don't qualify. You need that 2019 Schedule C. You don't qualify if you use 2020. Because in order to get PPP2, which uses 2019 or 2020, you have to get PPP1 first. You can't jump from PPP2 without getting PPP1, right? So it's very, very important to note. So PPP2, the second stimulus round, allowed PPP2 and PPP1 if you didn't get it the first time. PPP was initially introduced in the CARES Act back in March of 2020 when the pandemic started. Fully forgivable. After 24 weeks of spending the money, you submit a one-page application, which we actually do assist with that. So my firm, by the way, we've partnered with the #1 PPP loan accepted, right, bank in the world today. The only bank that has accepted the most PPP loans that not too many people are aware of. No, it's not a JP Morgan Chase. No, it's not Fifth Third. No, it's not Bank of America, right? We've partnered with a banking provider who we have a direct one-on-one relationship with, to the point where we know the CEO, and we submit the applications on our client's behalf, and then they fund our clients' PPP loans. They fund it the most. So it's very, very important to be able to take advantage of this money. It's free money. It's free. You might see the word loan, but don't let that chain you or put you in a shack or anything like that. A loan, not all loans are bad loans. This is a fully forgivable loan, right? And ultimately, after 24 weeks of spending the money, then you can basically apply for forgiveness. One thing to note, this is not taxable money. You don't pay any taxes on it. And whatever you use the money on, you get to deduct on your income tax return, as long as it's a business expense. And Martin asks, what if we already got a second round of PPP funding using payroll? So that's a great question. If you have an S corporation, what I'm telling you now does not apply with the new change. It's only for Schedule C sole proprietors. They created this for the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, right? They created this for the small business. Most businesses in the U.S. are small businesses. The people that employ the most people in the U.S. are small businesses. So they wanted to create something for the small business. So if you're Schedule C, a sole proprietor, then you qualify. You can now use gross income. I'll show you the calculation in a second. And we got a comment, I wish I had a business. Yeah, if you don't have a business, I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. I'm sorry. Even if you got a full-time job, you need to have a business. It doesn't have to be a full-time thing, just some business. I mean, we all do something, right? Some of us sing, some of us dance, some of us do taxes, right? Some of us know how to fix computers. Some of us write books. Check out the book, Infinite Expansion, How to Infinitely Expand Your Vision of Abundance, available on Amazon, right? So I'm an author too. That's a small business right there. So it doesn't have to be a big business or anything like that. It can just be a small business, ultimately. So we got a question. So basically, they need to have 2019 and 2020 taxes filed to get this loan. No, just 2019. You might want to file 2022, but just 2019, and that's it. You just need a 2019 tax return that has a Schedule C. If you don't have a Schedule C, then first and foremost, you need to come see me. We got a comment, I drive Uber. There you go. I mean, hey, if you drive Uber, you do Lyft, Grubhub, Postmates, whatever it is, you got a 2019 Schedule C, you might want to come see me. And I'll leave my contact information at the end and also open it up for some Q&A. But we got another question. I have an EIN number to open a business. Yeah, go ahead, start that business. By the way, it doesn't need to be an incorporated business either. It can be under your personal name, although we don't recommend ever doing business under your personal name, right? You should be doing it under a business name. Do I qualify if I just registered a business? No, you don't. Unfortunately, you need to have a 2019 Schedule C. Or if you're an S corporation or C corporation, you need to have payroll, W-2 payroll. Question, I heard you can double dip with the taxes this year if you got PPP. Yeah, that's true. It's a triple tax benefit, basically. Not only are you not taxed on the money, not only is the loan forgiven, but you can also deduct the expenses that you spent the forgivable money on. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. For you not to take advantage of this would be quite insanity. I just filed 2020 taxes, but no Schedule C. Can I file 2019 taxes with Schedule C? Yeah, if you had a business, you might want to get a Schedule C. If you don't have a Schedule C, then you should probably come see me. So with that, let me see. Okay, so I do want to demonstrate an example. Let me jump out of the slides really quick. As a matter of fact, let me just talk about a few of the changes. So here we go. PPP now allows Schedule C filers to use gross income instead of net income to qualify. So instead of line 31 of your Schedule C, now you can use line 1. I mean, that's insanity. I've never heard any such thing like that. They're just handing the money. They're saying, here, take the money. You get it. You got a business, here you go. Take it. Eliminate a restriction that prevent small business owners with prior non-fraud felony convictions from obtaining relief through PPP. So if you're an ex-felon, whatever it is, you actually qualify now for PPP, right? They really want to help the businesses. I mean, they're really going out of their way for this. They removed the rule to prevent small business owners who are delinquent on federal student loan payments from securing a PPP loan. So if you owe student loans, you still can get PPP. And allow non-citizen oh my goodness, non-citizen small business. So if you have a business and you're not even a U.S. citizen, right, you can still qualify. And it looks like, let me fix this stand on the Facebook Live. All right, a little technical glitch. All right, so here we go. Just make sure that, here we go. Okay, so we got another question from somebody. Said, I have a small business partnership, LLC. I have a 2019 Schedule C, which shows a loss, no profits, no payroll, no employees. Do you qualify? Yeah, you do. If you got income, if you got line 1 of your Schedule C that shows a number, I mean, you can pull up your Schedule C right now. If it has a number on line 1, you qualify for PPP. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. All right, should the amount requested be considered against how much your business earned in 2019? Yeah, it is. It's all based off 2019. So I think there's enough questions for me to go through an example. So let me go through my PPP loan calculation sample. Man, it gets no better than this. And if you're tuning in just now, welcome to the webinar talking about getting higher PPP loans for your small business. I want to go through an example of a young lady named Brianna. Brianna owns a hair salon. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, Brianna owns a hair salon, and she started her business in 2019. All right, she quit her full-time job, and she decided to go all out and become a small business owner. More power to her. In 2019, in quarter 1, her revenue was $15,000. In quarter 2, her revenue, things kept going up. It was $20,000. Quarter 3, $25,000. Quarter 4, she was slanging it, $30,000. Right? Her total revenue for the year was $90,000. Expenses, $30,000. Net profit, $60,000. Under the old PPP rules before last week, we only get to use line 31 of our Schedule C. Right? Line 31 of the Schedule C. And let me pull up what a Schedule C looks like for those on the webinar that haven't actually seen a Schedule C yet. So let me just see. Let me go pull one up off our good old Google here. All right, so Google Schedule C. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is for those on a Zoom. So if you're tuning in just now, we're live on Facebook, Instagram, and we're on Zoom today. And we're talking about getting higher PPP loans for your small business. This is a serious note. If you haven't applied for the PPP loan yet, and you're listening right now, and you qualify, you've got to take advantage. If you need help, reach out to me, right? Reach out. The phone number is 773-819-5675. 773-819-5675. The easiest way to reach us is actually on our website, which is badutaxservices.com. And you can also check out my personal website, jeffbadu.com, where I post a lot of free financial resources. So with that, I mean, for those looking at on a Zoom, this is what a Schedule C looks like. PPP used to use your net profit, line 31. Now PPP uses line 1, gross receipts, gross sales. Man, it's gross sales. So you're using line 1 in order to qualify. So basically in Brianna's example, she used to only be able to qualify based on line 31, her net profit, which was $60,000. So she would take $60,000 divided by 12 times 2.5. Now, since the government says, you know what, screw that, it's her gross income, her $90,000 now divided by 12 times 2.5. Right? So she's getting a PPP loan based on her gross income as opposed to her net income. You take your line 1 of your Schedule C, divided by 12, multiply it by 2.5. Very, very simple calculation. Very simple. But it gets even better. You can get PPP not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. Right? 3 times. There's a third round coming soon. So in the second round, Brianna, her business was booming. She started off strong in 2020 with 20,000, and then boom, pandemic hits. Her revenue drops down to 10,000. That's a 25% or more revenue drop in quarter 2 2019 compared to quarter 2 2020. In Q3, it just went downhill from there, 5,000. Q4, 15,000. Her total revenue was 50,000. But since she qualified for PPP, 1, using her 2019 gross income, she also qualifies for PPP 2, using her 2019 gross income. So she's getting $18,750 in PPP 1, and then another $18,750 in PPP 2. And let me do you one better. $18,750 in PPP 3. You're talking $56,250 in free government cheese. Right? $56,250 in free government cheese. That's pretty big. That's really big. So with that, this is the type of money we're talking. You take your line 1 of your Schedule C from 2019, you divide it by 12, and you multiply it by 2.5. And, as we got a question, are all 3 forgivable? Yes, 100%. 100%. You just submit a 1-page application to your loan provider, and we submit it on your behalf, by the way, if you're working with us. We submit the 1-page application after 24 weeks of spending the money, and it gets forgiven automatically. It doesn't get any easier than that. It doesn't get any freer than that. You get the same amount all 3 times? Yeah, you can. If you got a 25% or more revenue drop in 2020 compared to 2019, any quarter or throughout the entire year. All right. And then if you don't have the 25% revenue drop, you still qualify for PPP 1. You don't need that 25% revenue drop in PPP 1. And we got a question. Yep. Send an email. Yeah, we respond to email within 48 hours. So that's our policy now. Run that back. There you go. Yeah. We got a comment. Jesus. Yeah. Yes. Amen to that. Yeah, this is real. This is real life. This is what's going on right now. They're giving the money. They're giving money. I texted a client the other day, hey, the PPP rules have changed. You qualify for $15,000. Are you interested? Who would say no, right? So the formula is the same, just uses gross instead of net income. Yeah, it is. It's very simple. It's gross income, line 1 of your Schedule C, divided by 12 times 2.5. That's your loan amount. In Brianna's example, her gross income was $90,000 divided by 12 times 2.5. And if you're a restaurant or if you're a hotel or accommodations, it's 3.5. Man, the maximum dollar amount though in each round is $20,833. That's for a single, a Schedule C. So I do want to point that out. $20,833 is the maximum amount, but hey, that's free money, free government cheese. All right. When are you going to start submitting the PPP application? We already started. We already started. I need to learn how to factor the 25% reduction loss. Yeah, this is why it's important to do bookkeeping, for example. And if you don't have a bookkeeper, come see me. We do basically assist with bookkeeping services. So as a business owner, you should know how much money you made this month or last month. You should know exactly how much money you made last month. If you don't, that's a big problem. You've got a big problem on your hands. Forget PPP. You need to go see a bookkeeper. If you can't tell me exactly how much revenue you made in February of 2021, that's a problem. It means you're not paying close attention to your business at all. Right? And that's a brutally honest statement. Because, yeah, basically the SBA is testing you. They're saying, yeah, if you want this PPP money, show us your 25% or more revenue drop. Now, you can cheat a little bit by using your entire year, 2020 compared to 2019. And if there's a 25% or more drop there, you qualify. But if you don't, you want to go quarter by quarter and do the comparison. All right, we got a lot of questions tonight. I promise we'll open it up to the Zoom in a second. All right, so does it qualify for businesses that began in 2020? No, it does not, unless you are an S corporation and you had W-2 payroll, right? Unless you're an S corporation that was formed before February 15, 2020. If you're Schedule C, you're out the game if you just started in 2020. When is round 3? Probably next week. Or 2 weeks from now. As long as they get their acts together in Congress. If you applied once and were denied, can you apply with another lender? Come see me. We'll help you. As a matter of fact, we did a webinar, and shout out to Jerry Tolliver, by the way, where 1,000 people registered, and essentially 300 showed up. And out of those 300, only about 50 were eligible for PPP. With the new rules, about 250 now are eligible for PPP. That's how powerful the rule change has become. We got a question from Ebony. You got a question, Ebony? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a great question. So the question was basically, for those who couldn't hear it on the Facebook or Instagram, Ebony was asking a question. When you're applying, do you choose sole proprietor, self-employed, or independent contractor? It's actually the same thing. They all mean the same exact thing. So I would choose sole proprietor, maybe. But it makes no difference. Sole proprietor, independent contractor, self-employed are 3 interchangeable terms. I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. So Ebony asked the question, if she doesn't turn in her bank statements, can she turn in a profit and loss? Every bank is different. I would say yes, it's okay, but I would get those statements ready just in case. No problem. All right, we got a question on the, let me just over the hand real quick. All right, so question, how much you charge to help? That's the type of questions you guys should be asking. Right? I think that's getting us somewhere. Right? Ebony asked fabulous questions. She asked about, sole proprietor, independent contractor, Schedule C. It's all interchangeable. But the question, how much do we charge? So we have a flat rate of, if the loan amount is below $10,000, it's $500. If the loan amount is between $10,000 to $50,000, it's $1,000. And if the loan amount is essentially above $50,000, then the fee varies essentially. So it really depends. So with that, let me just see here. Okay, so we got a question. What is your advice for those who amend their 2019 returns in order to qualify? I mean, it's not a bad idea, but proceed at your own risk because you will now owe taxes, most likely. So you always have to compare the risk with the reward. Now, here's my question though. Why didn't the person file that Schedule C on their 2019 tax return? If I'm the IRS, that's the question I'm asking them too. Do we have a case of tax evasion? Right? Or is it just the business owner just wasn't, aware that they had to file, which is a valid case. It's not a problem. The IRS will honor that all day, every day. So, yeah, I mean, if you didn't file, then, I think you should file in general, but we'll see. I mean, they haven't really been clear about that part. But just reach out, right? Just reach out. What should a nail salon classify? Yeah, so I think that was, there you go. That was that question. I do want to go back to the slides real quick and just, yeah, go ahead. Correct. Yeah, exactly. So the question was, what number do we basically use for the gross income? Yeah, it's basically going to be the 90,000 in our example. It doesn't include. Yeah, payroll would be considered as an, exactly. That would be considered as an expense. Exactly. And now one thing I do want to be crystal clear on is that the new rule only applies to Schedule C filers. Only Schedule C. Sole proprietors, independent contractors, right? Self-employed. Somebody who filed a 2019 Schedule C on their tax return, that's really the only group that can qualify. So the question was from Ebony. She said, "How can you apply for first and second draw?" It's real simple. The answer to that question is actually in the question itself. All you have to do, so once you submit the first round and lands in your bank account, you go back to that bank or a different bank and you apply again. Exactly. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you can get PPP and idle. Absolutely. Yeah, you can actually get PPP and idle in the first and second round, actually. So they took away the idle rule, the idle restriction in the second stimulus package. Yeah, no problem. All right, we also have a question. Who should I use for the loan? Come see me. So let me put my contact information is on the Zoom now. But so the website is badutaxservices.com. That's our firm website. You can also check me out at jeffbadu.com or social media. I mean, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you already follow me. But the name is at jbadu, JBADU32. Or you can search the name Jeff Badu on Facebook and Instagram. Our line is 773-819-5675, 773-819-5675. And then the email is jb@badutaxservices.com. And for Nisi, we promise we will get you something by the end of today. It's definitely not something we want to hear from one of our team members. So appreciate you for letting me know. All right, so let's see here. Is round one still open? Yeah, it's open. I have a Schedule C and a separate business. You recommend doubling up? As long as you got a Schedule C, they only use your Schedule C for this. They don't go by anything else at all. If that business is not on your Schedule C, you don't qualify. That's simple as that. When is the deadline? I wouldn't be asking about the deadline. I would be asking, how can I start today? Right? Where do I sign up? Those are the right questions, not the deadline. Forget the deadline. because the money can run out any second from now. In the first round, when they first started, the money ran out about a week. But this round, it's gotten a little more flexible, more money. So official deadline is March 31st, but I wouldn't rely on that date because the money can run out anytime, especially with this new rule change. For my super savvy business owners out there, I know you're going to take advantage of this. All right, let's see here. Yeah, so I would say just make sure that you apply. And Ebony has a question as well. You can feel free to ask a question, Ebony. Yeah, so Ebony mentioned a great point. She says that some banks don't even accept applications anymore. I don't blame them, actually. I think they're losing a lot of money, but they're probably pretty busy. They probably got a lot of applications. They don't want to miss anybody that already applied. I know our bank, we're going all the way until March 31st. And the deadline may get extended. I believe it was either Chase. Chase said that they'll stop accepting applications, I think, next week. So, yeah, I mean, every bank has their own deadline. Our bank, we're going all the way. But I would say get it done as soon as possible. We got a comment. I submitted my docs to you yesterday. Absolutely. Don't worry. We'll make sure we respond to that. How long does the process take to apply and get funded? That's an awesome question. So if you're submitting documents to us, it takes us 2 business days to submit it to the SBA. As long as, of course, you've paid for the service, we've engaged in the service. And then approval is another 2 business days. Funding is 3 business days. So you're looking at about 7 business days to get the money into your bank account, at least through our provider. I can't speak for anybody else. Remember, they've accepted the most PPP loan applications out of anybody. How long does it take for you to submit the application and get approved? I mean, that's the same question. Appreciate you asking, though. Absolutely. So yeah, 7 business days if you're a Schedule C sole proprietor. If you're an S Corp or C Corp, you run payroll, it might take a little longer because now they have to verify some more stuff. So question, okay, I've been trying, but that wasn't my concern because I haven't gotten far in the process. Yeah, I mean, I would say as long as you're being proactive about the process, you'll end up getting the money for sure. Definitely. All right, so let's see. Any other questions? What documents do you need for PPP? That's a great question. We actually got so in our firm, all we need is your 2019 Schedule C, first document we asked for. If you don't have that, you don't qualify. A driver's license, right? A voided check for your business, or if you're a sole proprietor, your personal name. And then we also have, let's see, what else we need? February 2020 bank statement. That's one. Outside of that, that's it. That's definitely it. So, do Uber drivers qualify? Yes, Uber drivers qualify. Lyft drivers qualify. Grubhub, Postmates, you walk dogs, WAG, whatever it is. You stand in line for people at the grocery store. Whatever it is, you qualify. Payment, do we need to pay up front, or do you take the money out of the amount being deposited, like taxes? Great question. Short answer is no. Well, we do require upfront payment. And if for whatever reason we can't get you the loan, for whatever reason, we do refund you up to 50% of the money. Or we'll just apply that fee to a future application because there's PPP3 coming soon. And remember, nobody should do this, but if you miss out on PPP1, PPP2, then you still can get it in PPP3, right? When PPP3 comes out, you can get PPP-1, PPP-2, and PPP-3 as long as the money didn't run out. For those that missed it, PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program. It's meant to protect your paycheck. What if the bank statement is from the personal account because it's cash? Not exactly sure about that question, but yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fine. It's not a best practice, right? But that's fine. So if you're using your 2019 Schedule C, then they're going to compare it to your bank statement or your 2020 Schedule C. For PPP2, yeah, exactly. To see that 25% or more revenue drop. Exactly. And while they asked the question, looks like we actually answered that for PPP1 and PPP2. Basically, you need a 2019 Schedule C. For PPP1 and PPP2, 2019 Schedule C, driver's license, voided check. Let's see what else you need. February 2020 bank statement, and that's it. And then for round 2, you can use 2019 or 2020, whichever is higher. Remember, in order to get round 2, you got to get round 1 first. So you'll need the 2019 Schedule C anyway. And then basically, you can use your 2020 Schedule C for round 2 if and only if it's higher than 2019, which is most likely not the case, right? Because how can you really qualify for a higher amount if your revenue dropped? I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, basically, they'll use for round 2, they're going to want to see a 25% or more revenue drop compared to 2019 for PPP2. Not necessarily PPP1, but for PPP2. All right, so what if your business was formed after February 2020? Would you still be eligible? No, you would not, unfortunately. PPP3 still based on 2019? You best indeed. Do you have to meet a certain income? No, you don't. Well, you just need an income. You need a income, right, on your line 1 of your Schedule C. How do you prove that the decrease of 25% for PPP2? This is where you need a bookkeeper. If you haven't been taking your business as serious as you really need to, and tracking your profits, tracking your income, the SBA is teaching you a lesson here. That's all. They're teaching you a lesson, and they're saying those who understand a lesson are going to get the money. You should be tracking your revenue every single month. Every month, you should know how much money came in the door. If you don't, you've got a big problem in your business. You've got a big problem in your business. That means you don't know, you have no awareness whatsoever of what money is coming into your business. I mean, how do you know what sales are looking like? How do you know if you need to reorder a certain supply? How do you know how much you need to pay somebody for them to produce a certain amount of revenue? How do you know that stuff if you don't keep track of the numbers? How can the government trust you with PPP if you can't track these things? I mean, they want to help small businesses, but they're not just going to hand the money to anybody now. They want you to do something for the money. Just do something, just a little bit. All right, if they have a Schedule C but don't have a business bank account, can they still apply? Yes, they can as a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor, you submit your personal bank statement. What if you got PUA in round 1 PPP? Do I factor that as income? No, you don't. PUA is not business income. Right? PPP is not business income. EIDL is not business income. That's not revenue. That's not gross receipts. You don't count those things. Which is nice because you don't have to pay taxes on that. Now, PUA is something that you have to pay taxes at the personal level on your personal tax return, but has nothing to do with your business tax return. All right, what if the 2019 Schedule C is a loss? Remember, they're using gross income now. Gross, line 1, gross income to determine your eligibility, not net income. Net income is no longer a thing. It's gross income, line 1 of your Schedule C. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions. Any other questions at all? We're at 7:53. We can do about 5 more minutes or so for Q&A. And I did leave my contact information on the Zoom website, badutaxservices.com, BADU taxservices.com, or check out my main website, which is jeffbadu.com. And that's where you'll find infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. So with that, any other questions at all? Is your biz able to determine if qualify for EIDL? Don't fully understand the question. Basically, you can get PPP and EIDL. Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, here's how crazy it is. You can get PPP, EIDL, unemployment for the months that you weren't covered by PPP. Then you can also get the stimmies, right? The stimulus checks. You can get that child tax credit, which will soon be $300 a month, straight to your bank account if you got a child, a dependent child. Let's see what else is out there. You can get, let me see, what other programs? You can get unemployment, which we talked about. Rental assistance, you can get that too, right? Link, you can get that. Section 8, well, you can't get Section 8 and rental assistance, at least not with this new program. But, I mean, you can make quite a lot of money off this government money. You can make quite a lot. You know, and then the question, if I apply for PPP through you, can you help me apply for EIDL? Yes, we do submit EIDL applications as well. How do you get rental assistance? Check out your local housing department. Just go on our website. So-and-so state housing department, right? Texas housing department. Illinois housing department. Right, go to the websites and type in rental assistance right after those words. Go to Google. I guarantee you the first thing you'll find is a link that's going to lead to the rental assistance. Now, I don't know why they're sleeping on this, but they haven't technically released the money to the states yet. I don't know why. Well, some states, at least the states, haven't actually given out the money to the people that need it yet. I think there's a big delay going on somewhere. Is EIDL portal back open? Yeah, the EIDL is open. It's been open. It's never closed, actually. It's always been open. All of ever since the pandemic. Did you say a voided check is necessary document? I only use debit check cards. Debit check cards for your business and can provide bank statements. Will this be an issue? I believe you meant cannot provide bank statements. Yeah, that will be an issue. Remember, the SBA is trying to teach you a lesson. They're trying to teach you a lesson. For one, here's the lesson 1. File your taxes. Lesson 1. Lesson 2, make sure you're reporting accurate information. Gross revenue. Why are they trying to target gross revenue? Because they might want to collect some more taxes off you too. Not saying you shouldn't apply for PPP if you qualify. Absolutely, go ahead and apply. But if you're thinking about amending your return and doing all this and that, well, now the eyeballs get raised at you. Why didn't you report the full thing the first time? I mean, what was going on? Were you scared? Were you trying to commit fraud? Right? Maybe you made an honest mistake and you didn't report all your revenue. Another lesson they're trying to teach you is to track your income monthly, track your expenses monthly. Don't wait till the end of the year, grab a whole shoebox full of receipts. That's not, if I'm the government, I wouldn't trust you with PPP money. As a matter of fact, I might not even consider you a business at that point. I might consider that you're running a hobby. Because a business, an actual business establishment, is one that has financial records, is one that does file their tax return, is one that does have an LLC, INC in place, is one that does have a business bank account, right? Potentially a credit card, QuickBooks. So just, you've got to do the right thing if you want this government cheese. You're dealing with the government here. How much does your biz charge for EIDL application? Yeah, so it depends. I mean, 500 to 1,000 typically. If I apply to SBA.gov for PPP, yeah, PPP is not SBA.gov, right? This is why you need the professionals to step in and help you. Could I still use your company to resubmit it if I was declined? Yes, you can. So EIDL is through SBA.gov. PPP is not through SBA.gov. It is through a bank, a financial institution. It is through our firm where we serve as the broker to help submit the applications, basically. All right, so let's see here. We got time for one more question. Let's do one more question for anybody on the Zoom, anybody on Facebook, anybody on Instagram. Please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to help you out, secure this bag, right? So you're talking about $140 billion still out there, not touched. And we're in a pandemic. It makes no sense to me. Why? It makes zero sense whatsoever. I've thought about it so much. I've even lost sleep over it. And I'm like, why is there so much money untapped? We've got to take advantage of these things. And we've got to do the right thing. All right, so let's see here. One more question. Anybody? One last question. All right. Well, it looks like our time has been cut. Let me go ahead and stop the recording on the Zoom. So if you do need anything, please let me know. Please feel free to reach out. We apologize for any slowed or delayed communication, but as you can imagine, we're in our busiest time of the year with tax season. And then also, we're helping small businesses with PPP, EIDL, right? And all these different programs. And we certainly take your business seriously, and we always appreciate your business. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to this, to this webinar. And hopefully I'll be hearing from you soon. See you guys.